Hey guys, happy Friday. I am going live today from the back of my vehicle, the back seat. Last time I sat back here was actually not all that long ago. I sat back here to kind of get in the middle of my boys who were having a moment. And my awesome boyfriend was driving, and I just wanted to keep things calm. So Mom sat in the back of the car in the middle of the boys. It's a little squishy back here, but we're going to make it work. The wind is crazy today, and the power went out. Well, not the power, but the internet went out at my house, so I could not connect. I couldn't get any of my notes for today because they're all in the cloud. And anyway, I just went old school. So I took a few minutes to write down some notes, and we're talking about transitions and adaptability. So guess what I had to do? I had to adapt to the situation, transition from my indoor recording area to my car. I am in the parking lot of an urgent care location close to my house. And it works. Hopefully you guys are getting to see this okay. Yeah, we're talking about transitions. I thought this would be something engaging and fun and relatable to talk about as parents, because I'm sure I am not the only one who has kiddos that sometimes struggle with the transitional times. You know, these are the moments where, you're getting up in the morning, transitioning from bed to being upright. You're transitioning from being home to going to school, transitioning from school, coming back home, then dinner time, and then it's bedtime, and all these little mini transitions that we go through every day. And then there are the big ones like moving to a new house, or maybe your parents are getting divorced and you're going to be living in two different places. And there's just transitions all through life. And the more we can give our children the confidence and the tools to handle these situations, the better they're going to get at it. I think it may have been Darwin that had a quote, something like, "The species that survive are not the strongest, but the ones most adaptable to change." And that's what transitions are. They're just like mini changes throughout the day. So, quick story here. I have 3 children. My middle guy, Chase, he's 9. And he has some behavior stuff. He's just a little different than the other 2. He's super creative, high energy. He is amazing though, really inquisitive. He's pretty athletic and everything. But anyways, he off and on has trouble at school, and it's usually little things. Luckily his teacher's really good about communicating with me, and we try to work through things before they become a big deal. But he was having a little bit of trouble, like causing disruptions in class, and he had been spoken to a couple times, and the way she had described it was similar things to what I was having to deal with at home. And so we went back and forth and discussed a couple things to try. Maybe they would work temporarily, but then end up back at the same place. So I got Chase aside, and I said to him, "Buddy, I know you want to make the right choices. I know that you do." And I could tell that he wanted to, and he would get frustrated with himself when he couldn't make the right choice. So I said, "Is there something that I can do for you, or that your teacher can do for you to help you with the transition times?" And he thought about it, and he said he didn't really know. And I said, "Well, when you're having trouble, is it happening at any particular time of the day? Is it like when you first get there? Is it at lunchtime, at recess? Is it towards the end of the day? When is it?" And he's like, "Well, Mom, now that you mention it, I seem to have trouble after I come in from recess. I have a hard time calming down, and I sit next to some kids that are, also a little bit of a disturbance at times, and I think they're maybe a bad influence on me. And so he was able to figure out when he was having trouble, and so he came up with his own solutions. I thought this was so cool for a 9-year-old boy who's like all over the place. Just got him kind of in a calm moment and talked to him face to face. And it was great because he was able to tell me when it was happening. He was able to tell me why, like, well, Mom, maybe if my desk was moved to, away from those other kids that I sometimes am tempted to disturb the classroom with, maybe that would help. Or he said, also, there's a sensory room at school where it's an indoor room, but it's like a little transition room with soft music and some stones on, like fake sticker stones on the ground that they can walk in. And it's just a room for the students to go in if they need to and calm down. So he said, there's also a sensory room. I could ask to use that. And I was like, dude, you just figured out all your own stuff. That's so awesome. And that was probably like 3 or 4 months ago. And he's been doing great. Not perfect, but he's a 9-year-old boy. But those little moments of just being aware of when he was having trouble with the transitions and kind of coaching him through finding his own solutions. And that just gave him so much more confidence that like he could find the answers when he needed to. So I wanted to share that story with you and encourage you. Doesn't matter how old your kids are, if they're 2, 3 years old or 22, 23 years old, you can even use these to help with your own awareness if you're having trouble with a certain transition in life. So I wanted to share that with you and also talk a little bit about why transitions are so difficult. So what I understand, I do a lot of research and studying on psychology and neuroscience, and it's pretty fascinating to me. But humans have basically evolved to not like uncertainty. We like to look for patterns in things. We like to know what's coming next. And that's completely normal. That's something that we're all born with. When we do have moments of uncertainty or something coming up where we don't know what's going on, we don't know what to expect, a lot of times what we do is we fill those blanks with assumptions. So we think like, we don't know what's coming next, so maybe it's going to be something bad, and then we brace ourselves, or we start to create anxiety in our minds, worrying about what's coming next. Well, adults do this all the time. Like, how do you think it is for kids who can't even really process their emotions or what they're going through? So a lot of it has to do with just uncertainty, not knowing what's coming next. They're losing their sense of security. They're doing things to get attention sometimes, or just completely acting out. It's not that they're giving you a hard time, it's that they're having a hard time. And often what will help to soothe the problem or the situation is if we can just keep ourselves calm through that and maybe talk through the situation with them through the transition. There's also a lot of really fun sensory-based tools or tricks that I can share with you. And I'm sure that some of you have your own. So if you want to let me know what your tools and tricks are, I posted in a couple of moms groups just to find out, what other people do to manage the tough transition times. And I got some good feedback. A lot of them were kind of things that I already do with my kids. So let's see here. Some ways that we can help. these are going to be like some logical ways to help or just systematic ways, and then we'll get into some more fun stuff. So having clarity is certainly helpful. So providing clear expectations, providing a schedule. One of the things that I do with my kids in the morning, of course, like I think it's pretty common to have trouble or a little bit of stress, morning stress, trying to get out the door for school, work, what have you. We have deadlines, and even if we manage our time well, it seems that right as you're getting out the door, there's often something that happens or something that comes up, or someone has a meltdown or makes a mess or pukes, or, you know, just these things happen. The dog sneaks out the door, all this stuff. It's life. So what I've done with my kids is we have like little games that we play here and there throughout the day. I have a big chalkboard at home that I made, and I wrote down the AM routine, the afternoon routine, the night routine, so they could just go look at the chalkboard. Did you do everything on the chalkboard? I'm not like constantly nagging them. Sometimes when it gets close to getting out the door and they're not done, there's nagging. Like, I'm a human too, so that does happen, and as long as you don't get consumed by that, you can have fun with it too. But we bought on Amazon some blank playing cards. They're like a pack of 52 cards. But they're blank. So what we did is I had the kids write each step of their morning routine on each card. Say there's 10 steps, so they write 10, one step on each card and then decorate it. Like, you know, they just had fun with it. So then if they're having trouble, here's your cards, go through your cards, make sure you did everything. And, you know, we just have little tricks like that we do. So clarity on the expectations and schedule. Consistency. So staying on track with your routine is going to be helpful. Then they know what's coming. If it's going to fluctuate, if you can give them advance notice, verbal cues. We're leaving in 5 minutes. Oh, school delay, 90-minute delay for school today. You have a little extra time, but then we have to, at blah, blah, blah time, we have to log on and get your assignments. And so giving verbal cues. Also having like a family calendar or something that they can read is helpful. I know I already mentioned this, but staying calm. If you can stay calm and communicate with the kids, that does help. One of the little tricks that I learned from a family therapist, Dr. Becky Kennedy, she's kind of famous. I've spoken about her many times. She talks about something called emotional vaccination, which is founded on Stoicism, actually. It's, they call it like negative visualization, but it's not, you're not like manifesting negativity into your life. You're saying like, for instance, we are going to go play mini golf after school today. When you guys get out, we're going to go play mini golf. But it is a really nice day out, one of the first nice days of the year. It's possible that mini golf will be full with a line going down the road. If that happens, we will come up with plan B. So that's what you would call like an emotional vaccination. If your kid's trying out for a sports team and you know it's going to be a challenge for them to try out, that's awesome. Try out. Do something hard. Do your best. Try out. If you don't make it, we'll look into some other teams that you can try out for. So that would be an emotional vaccination. Like, you're encouraging them to do something hard. Do your best. Go for it. Yes, I believe in you. If it doesn't work out, we'll do plan B. So it's just like a quick little emotional vaccination. So give that a try if you want. I do it with my kids sometimes. It usually works. So using comedy or fun or sensory type strategies, I guess. So when you're going through transitions, you could have a song that you play 5 or 10 minutes before they need to go out the door in the morning. I've tried this before when I remember to do it. It's super helpful. I don't always remember to do it. I lack consistency sometimes. Yes, it's true. This is me being vulnerable. So that's just an example though, like when they're getting up in the morning, it's cold, they don't want to get out of bed. You could have like their favorite blanket on the couch and play a fun song that they like to get up to. Sometimes we play Bubble Butt in my house. Sometimes the kids ask for it. So those are just some little things that make life more exciting and make the transitions a little bit easier. When they're heading out the door, you could have like a little fidget toy on the table for them to grab and play with in the car. As a reward, sometimes I will let them take like their Nintendo Switch or something. Or if I'm just tired and I don't want to micromanage everything, that just kind of gets them into like that mode where they're not going to bother each other because their faces are in the games, and that's okay in moderation. Yeah, so just looking through a couple of my little notes here, there's all kinds of fun stuff you could do. You could have them like chant and run around, do 5 laps around the car and chant "school is awesome" before you go to school. Like, that's so cheesy, but whatever. Like, some kids will get on board with that. My little guy, he's 8 now, but he has, I think he has maybe some separation anxiety with me. He often has a tough time like going to school still, and he wants to stay home with mommy, and he wants me to pick him up early from school. He's a sweetheart. He's a softie. But with him, a lot of times he'll ask me, where are we going today after school? And we've been on co-parenting schedule for 7 years now. He's been going back and forth since he was 1 year old. So in my mind, like, he should kind of be used to it, but also he's 8 years old and he doesn't have really a sense of time yet like an adult would. So something that I thought of as I was writing this is just having like a little index card or something that I could put in his bag on Thursdays, because on Thursdays his dad picks him up and then they're with dad till Saturday. So I could say, like yesterday when he went with his dad, I could have put a little note in and said, today's Thursday, March 6th. Dad picks you up after school. Josie's basketball awards are after school too. Friday, you have a dentist appointment and then you go to school and you stay at dad's Friday night. Saturday, we have Chase's basketball game and then you come back with mom. Like, you know, these little things definitely help with transitions. They know what's coming. They're looking for that pattern of regularity, and like it gives them a sense of security. They know what's coming. So making it an adventure also. This is really big. I have moved multiple times, and the house I'm in now, I have been there for over 5 years now, just me and the kiddos. But before that, I had a lot of transitions going on, so we moved multiple times. My kids were quite a bit younger. I'm sure it was still hard for them, but I always focused on trying to make it an adventure. We would show them the new house. I would show them the new house. And we just let them run around from room to room and just say like, check it out. And it's going to be so exciting. And they really loved it. They love the house that we're in now too, but they're not afraid of, you know, when it comes time to move, because we've talked about that. And that may be happening in the next couple of years or so. But, you know, just make it an adventure, make it fun for them. If they want to, if your kids are old enough to journal, they can journal about what they loved about the old house and what they're sad about in leaving. And maybe if they have fears about a new home or excitement, like getting in touch with their own feelings and being aware of their own emotions is going to give them skills to manage all this when they get older. And the more you can do it as an adult, the more they're going to learn those skills from you as well. So I think these are really powerful ways to not only guide our children through managing, but also leading by example. So yeah, there's little visualizations at bedtime. A lot of parents do like bedtime stories, and that's cool. Visualizations can be fun too. Like sometimes I'll have the kids close their eyes and think of like, you know, different candies that they love. And I'll say like, imagine you're walking through a little cottage in the woods, and then you start to float up into the sky and it's full of cotton candy clouds, and then, you know, just taking them through using their imagination, little visual exercises before bed. Because bedtime, I don't know, my kids are usually really good. They like their sleep, so it's not too big of a deal for us. But depending what your trouble time is throughout the day with transitions, there's a lot of sensory-based strategies. And I have a little cheat sheet for you. So if you want it, just some little sensory strategies, ideas, cues and clues to help you out. If you want that, let me know. And before we go, oh yeah, I made a couple notes, stuff I wanted to ask you. If you have a playful or silly parenting habit that helps your family out, if you want to share that, I would love to know. If you have a creative way of getting your kids to do something that they didn't originally want to do, I'd love to hear about that. I know some parents playfully use like reverse psychology. Don't you dare hug me. I hate hugs from kids. You know, reverse psychology, it works to a point, and then they're like, yeah, I already know that trick. If you have any little tricks or strategies for diffusing power struggles through those tough moments, if you have any sensory-based strategies like movement or music that you want to share, let me know. I'm gonna close this up now, but there is a strong link between teaching our children to be adaptable, flexible through these transitions, because that's what life is all about. Life is about change and transition. So there's a huge link between learning adaptability and some tools for that and confidence. So when our kids are better at adapting to new situations, it gives them more confidence, and that is something that they will carry through the rest of their lives. So the more that we can do that for them, the better. And before I go, I wanted to let you all know I am offering my 30-day perception challenge that has been incubating now for a little over a year. And I'm super excited to finally bring it out and offer it. If you want information on that, let me know. I'm going to be posting about that and putting up a registration link. And also, I'm going to be doing my Calm and Connected Family Leadership Masterclass again. I'm going to try to do that every month. I shouldn't say I'm going to try. I am going to offer it every month. So I'll put up the replays, but also if you want to hop on a live and ask questions, I will be scheduling that and putting that event up. So I hope you all have gotten something out of my vehicle parking lot broadcast today. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday and have an awesome weekend with your families and make the most of it. If you want to let me know what you're up to, or if you got anything out of this, if you want to share any of your own strategies, I'd love to hear. And I will talk to you all soon. I hope my internet's back because I had a lot of work to do today, but we're going to make it work. Whatever happens, happens. And it's been fun talking to you all from my car. So I hope you liked it too. All right. Bye, guys. See you soon.